Right now we're going to go to line number 6, and we're speaking with Paul Lane. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jonathan, how you doing tonight?
Not too bad. It's funny. The more answers I get, the more questions I have.
Yeah, I hear you. And I want to speak tonight about another issue which I've been trying to get answers to, and certainly a lot of people have, and the answers have not been forthcoming. And Jonathan, this issue relates to, and I've talked to you about this before, but we have had, I guess, some recent news on it, and that's the Ocean Pond development, the proposal to put 110 cottage units up in Ocean Pond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just reading the decision, the environmental assessment bulletin that came out yesterday, that the Honourable Vaughn Granter, Minister of Environment, has announced the following event. So there has been a Part 10 environmental assessment of the Environmental Protection Act, and the undertaking has been released. Ocean Pond Cottage lot development. The proponent is Edinburgh Group Limited. Now, Paul, did we know the name of the proponent before this announcement?
I had been told the name. I can't tell you exactly who Edinburgh is, and I guess the issue we have, Jonathan, and this has gone back for some time, and just a little bit of history. I'll try not to take too long, but so that people understand what we're talking about if they haven't heard about it. I was approached approximately 2 months or a little over 2 months ago by some cottage owners in Ocean Pond. And there's approximately, I think, 300 cottages, give or take, in that area, and it's been there for a long time. And those include people from all, I guess, throughout the region and so on. And certainly there's constituents of mine there and people from St. John's and CBS and so on. And there's some people who actually live there all year round.
Sure.
So
how many do you know? I mean, I remember I asked you that question before. How many people actually live in that area?
I'm not certain of what the breakdown is, Jonathan, to be honest with you. I know there's over 300 cottages, and there are some. I don't think it's a big lot. I'd be guessing if I said maybe 5 or 10% or something actually live there.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people who spend their whole summer up there, and there's some people who, I guess, spend, more time, give or take, depending on their circumstance. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was approached by a group of cottage owners who had concerns over the fact that there was being 110 cottage lots development being proposed for the area. And not so much even that it was being proposed as much as the fact that nobody up there was ever made aware of this. And there's so many questions around the fact of how did the cottage, first of all, how was the land, Jonathan?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I thought it was a beep or something. Anyway, how was the land obtained for this? Apparently, they're saying that there was some kind of an out-of-court settlement around some existing land that was claimed that, was in trust and crown land and so on, that some kind of a deal was made to obtain the land. Mm-hmm. Apparently the land was then sold to a developer, and all of a sudden they're looking at putting 110 cottage lots. Now, nobody was ever made aware of this. There's an existing road going up through Ocean Pond, and all of a sudden one day heavy equipment comes in and starts constructing a road, and there's a full road extended off the existing road, gone into where this development is supposed to be. I was actually in there, drove on the road, a fully developed road, culverts and everything. This road has gone through what was frozen crown land. Nobody was ever notified. There was no public discussion or whatever. This road and this development was built, or the road was built and worked on, towards getting the development done without even an environmental assessment at all. So this assessment that we're hearing about, in fact, this came after the road was put in through frozen crown land.
Yeah, the registration for the environmental assessment was in July 2014, according to documents that I'm reading online. By the way, Edinburgh Group Limited is a registered company in good standing since it was incorporated January 1st, 2013. There were two people named as I guess they're directors, and they both appear to be related. They have the same last name. Anyway,
Yep. Yeah, and so the bottom line is, Jonathan, is that this development went through. There's a connection to it. The cabin owners have to maintain. They were never noticed, never notified. They weren't asked, they never gave any permission. You had a road going through frozen Crown land without any kind of public notification whatsoever.
Sure.
You had it done before the environmental assessment was even completed. It was put through anyway. And you've had people up there living in Ocean Pond or with cottages who over the years have, for example, applied to say, I want to put a piece on my cabin to expand it, or, maybe my son or daughter wants to put a cabin up here next to mine. They've all been told, no, you can't do it because of
environmental
saturation.
Right.
But all of a sudden, all this is pushed through. Now, it's very interesting. People up there have put in requests to Crown Lands and Environment trying to get information. They've been unsuccessful. I wrote Minister Granter not once. I wrote him. I gave him almost a month to respond. He did not respond to me. I wrote him again. He did not respond to me the second time. I put in an access to information. They let it go for almost the entire 6 weeks, and then we got a letter back saying, we're looking for another, we're still not giving any information, and we're going to take another 30 days. We've referred the entire file over to Justice. And interestingly enough, Minister Granter, a month ago, was supposed to make a decision on the environmentalist.
You're a busy man tonight there, Paul. You got a lot of beefs on your line.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest with you. Anyway, what I was saying is that Minister Granter was supposed to make a decision a month ago.
All right.
And then a news release came out a month ago saying the minister is going to take an extra week to, thoroughly examine the request and so on, and then he will make his decision known on September the 8th.
Right.
Well, September the 8th came, and
there was a deadline extended.
There was no decision. There wasn't a word from the minister at all. I tried engaging him on a number of occasions, as did others. No response. And interestingly enough, if you want to talk about the coincidence of timing, like we talked about we talked about timing in another very serious matter about, that timing of 7.5 hours and so on. Well, here's another example of timing that finally the minister, after an additional 3 weeks with no notification whatsoever, he comes out yesterday and green lights the project, and then this morning, of course, now he's gone to a new department.
Now it's Dan Crummell who's the minister. Yeah, listen.
Very, very interesting and coincidental how this timing works, isn't it?
Yes, it is interesting. I'm going to look into that. Of course, he is now fisheries, but Dan Crummell might have some comments to make on that, because unfortunately, Von Granter can now say, well, talk to the minister. So timing is everything. I was listening to Steve Martin last week, and he was talking about how in comedy, it's all about timing is how he put it, which is very funny, particularly when he says it as opposed to me. We're gonna look into that, Paul. I'm gonna put in a call to Dan Crummell, and we'll see if Mr. Crummell is able to comment on that in any capacity. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're gonna take one more call before the break. You have a great evening.
Thank you, and good luck with getting an answer. I just want to say, though, Jonathan, before I go, to the people of Ocean Pond, that, and a message to Minister Crummell as well, is that I'm not letting this go. We've got an access to information, and if we don't get an answer within the prescribed timelines now on their extension, then I'll be making a formal complaint with the Privacy Commissioner, and we'll take it every other way we have to go to get the answers. People deserve an answer to some very fundamental and important questions. A public meeting should be held and questions should be answered, and I don't care. Minister Granter might be gone. Minister Crummell may have inherited this now.
I'll look into it.
Someone's going to have to answer.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jonathan. Always a pleasure talking to you. You have a good night.
Likewise, Paul. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye. I spoke with Thane Dunn last week, Elvis impersonator. Paul Lane, he's the new Billy Idol. That's all I got to say.